What's going on, everybody? It's Steven from Berserker's Beasties here. On today's video, we're going to introduce you to one of our new tarantulas that we got when we were in NARBC in Dallas. Huge shout out to Tie-Dye Exotics, who we got these two from. The one that we're going to talk about today is the Chromatopelma cyaneopubescens, or the green bottle blue, or GBB for short. This is a New World tarantula, so it doesn't have medically significant venom, but it does have urticating hairs that can be very irritating if they get on your skin, especially if they get in your eyes or nose, or hopefully they would never get in your mouth. They can be very skittish. There's very heavy webbers. They hail from northern Venezuela, which is an arid mountainous region. They have a medium growth rate. They don't grow super fast. They usually get between 4.5 to 6 inches. You might have some outliers that might get a little bit bigger than that when they're full grown. They are a semi-arboreal species, which is a bit controversial. The only thing that really means is you want to give them a little bit of extra height and a lot of anchor points, because they will web up off the ground. From some of the research I've done, wild specimens have been found in the bases of bushes or up on cactus or things to that nature. So they're not really arboreal, but they will get up off the ground a little bit. But when you're putting their enclosure together, you really don't want to have too much height. You want to have a little bit so they can get up and web up above their burrow or anything like that. But you don't want to have so much height that if they fall, they could hurt themselves, because they are still very fragile, like most tarantulas are. They're an opportunistic burrower, so when you're putting their enclosure together, you can put a little indention in the ground, give them a little starter, so that if they want to burrow, they can. They might not use it, they might use it, but you always want to give them just a little bit if they want to try to start a burrow. As far as how long they live, males can live 3, maybe 4 years. Females can live upwards of 14 years. So females can be a very long-lived, like most tarantulas can be. Males, again, they're only going to live a couple of years. They do have a mild venom, but it's not anything medically significant unless you were to have some kind of anaphylactic reaction to it, if you were allergic to it. As far as their husbandry goes, especially like the ones that we got are slings, and I'm going to show you here in a little bit how I put their enclosure together. They don't really need a whole lot of space. Again, because these are slings, you don't want to give them a whole lot of space, because if they fall, they could hurt themselves, and you really don't want to have them fall and hurt themselves, obviously. But like I said, I'll show you in the video later on putting their enclosure together. They need 68, 75 degrees as far as their temperature goes. Basically, if you're comfortable, the spider's going to be comfortable. They are an arid species, so they don't need a whole lot of humidity. Basically, you're just going to overfill their water dish a little bit. That's about all the humidity that they need. As far as feeding goes, right now I'm feeding mine small pinhead crickets. I will offer them food 2 to 3 times a week. I won't leave it in there for more than 24 hours. And if they don't take it, then obviously I pull the prey item out. We're still waiting on them to have their first molt anyway. So hopefully once they have their first molt, I'll be able to check to see if I can sex them on this first molt. It might still be a little difficult to sex them on this such a small molt, because like I said, they are still slings. Here in just a minute, we're going to show you how we put their enclosure together. So let's go do that real fast. All right, so let's get started making our new tarantula its next home from the little container that we got it in. So all I got here is a little Rubbermaid Tupperware deal that I got from Walmart, and I just heated up a little nail and punched a bunch of holes in both sides for ventilation. So I think this is going to be a really good size for our tarantula's next stage of life. So what we're going to use for substrate is Terra Arania from the Bio Dudes, which I've heard nothing but wonderful things about. So shout out to the Bio Dudes for making this great product. So we're just gonna go ahead and start adding this in here. A little bit more in here. All right, so I think that's probably good enough. You got about 1 inch. And then we'll just kind of mound some of it up around here. And then what we're gonna use for a hide is a bell pod that we also got from the Bio Dudes. So we're gonna dig a little hole, kind of set this in here at kind of an angle, and scoop some substrate inside it. And then we'll take some of this leftover substrate that's here inside, and we'll kind of cover the pot up just a little bit, just to kind of bury it. I don't need the bag, I got it later. Okay, I think that looks pretty good. So we've got it just buried down in the substrate here. And then I've got some cork bark, and I think we'll just break a couple of little pieces off here. Like so. Then I have a chunk of spider wood that I think I want to use as just a little extra texture. So we'll just snap one of these little spindly twigs off of, because I know we need a lot of anchor points for them to do their webbing on, and we'll give them some extra little space to climb around on. They're a semi-arboreal species, so we want to give them just a little bit of vertical height for them to put their web on. That's got a pretty sharp little point on it there, so we'll go ahead and cut that off. Stick that down in there like that. Stick this little stick in here like so. So we've got a couple little, it's kind of hard to see on the camera. We'll give you an overhead view of it once we get done. And then just to kind of top it off, I had cut a little piece off of a larger fake plant that I had, and we'll just tuck this, if I can find a good place to put it here. We'll just tuck this right in here. Move this little stick here. And then just for a water bowl, we just got a little bottle cap off of a water bottle. We'll just set that right inside there. And that's pretty much it. And now we'll give you an overhead view of what it looks like. So here it is on the overhead view. You can see a lot better on how everything's situated in there. So I don't have a little small paintbrush to use to try to get this little guy or girl out of here. So right here you can see perched up right there on the side of the container. So this is going to be the most challenging part, is getting him into its new enclosure. Now, since I don't have a paintbrush, I don't want to use anything metal, so I'm going to use this soft little kitchen spatula. And we'll try to do it from the side of the, so you can see it. So we're just going to try to tease it out of here, just nice and gently. Just kind of shake its substrate and its web a little bit. Kind of coax it out. Come on. And it's in. And there it is. And it's nice new enclosure. Plenty of room to grow up for quite a little while. So as you can tell, I was wearing different clothes in that section of the video because I'm doing a back to the future, forward to the past kind of situation we've got going on over here. But this is the enclosure that you just saw me build for our little GBB. And I don't know if the camera's gonna pick it up, but you can kind of see it right here. There we go. Now we got a little bit of a better look. And it seems to be doing really well. Like I said, we're really excited. I don't want to take the lid off to show you inside it right now because it's still in the process of getting really comfortable in its new enclosure, so I don't want to disturb it too much. But also, as you can tell, I put the type of tarantula that's on there because the one we're going to show you on the next video is a Guatemalan tiger rump, and we've got it set up kind of the same way. But yeah, they're been doing really well. They've been eating really well, and really excited to see, especially this one, how well it colors up, because they have a metallic kind of greenish teal colored carapace, and then they'll have a red abdomen, reddish orange kind of rust colored abdomen, and then really pretty blue legs. So stick around. We're gonna take y'all on the ride of watching all these little guys grow up. And this is Steven from Berserkers Beasties. Once again, like, comment, subscribe, follow us on all other social media, and come along with us on this journey. And again, we love you. Y'all be good.